Test, test. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's having themselves a fantastic Monday morning, feeling refreshed, recharged, and hopefully ready for what should be a meh week, I would think, right, from a trading perspective. We're dealing with the futures roll here today, tomorrow, primarily maybe even a little bit on Wednesday. So we're just going to have to be a little bit cautious, basically, about the volume, right, that's out there, and just be trading the higher volume contract. For now, we should still be trading the December. Tomorrow, probably, we start trading the March, and so we might have to type in the specific contract, whatever, instead of trading NQ1 or ES1 or whatever it is. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Someone's asking, how do you update the new month of futures contract? So Jerry 1, you can ask this in the live chat, right? Not the general community chat. 2, right? This is a question that you can Google very easily. What's the March roll? Or if you go into your prop firm and you log in, it'll tell you, right, what the contract is. You just type that in into your ticker instead of ES1. These are basics, guys. We've been able to figure this out on our own. Nothing particularly challenging about it. So let's please control the variables. Roll. Besides that, rolled out a few upgrades over the weekend. So hopefully the chat feature is working as expected for everybody. So you can pop it out, close it, right, bring it back, and it should be like you missed nothing. Hopefully that's working just fine. And yeah, we can kind of go there. All right, so first things first here, right? Economic calendar. Not going to be particularly interesting here today by the looks of it. It doesn't feel like it's the 15th of December for some reason. Feels like it's much earlier. But yeah, fine day today. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a hectic one. But okay, main thing that we're dealing with, right, is going to be roll. All right, so let's start mapping things out here this morning. Yes, so big red candle, increasing outlier volume, gapping up. So 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. You know, a lot of that volume is going to be basically with the roll, so not necessarily putting too much stock into Friday's volume standard. Pretty punchy gap up, opening up in the implied middle of Friday's range. So probably our most likely outcome here today is like a day of consolidation. And we'll see if we're correct on that, but that would be the starting point. To the upside, you're looking at a 69.10. Nice. All right, and then to the downside here, pre-market low is 68.20. And you go down to like 750. All right, sweet. And we'll see how how markets behave here today. All right, NQ, not as dramatic of a gap up here this morning, but still have one. Call that a 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Maybe less of a setup as an inside bar here. Target would be 25.7. Pretty punchy. Surprised if we get there. To the downside, you're looking at a 25.1. Sweet. Then 25,000. Go down to like 25. Make sense? Any questions? No, we're good. All right. Okay, CL. So inside bar there on Friday. Then we have to be aware of those prop firm limits. %, 54.65 ish. So we're looking at a 55. We don't have too much space here. CL might just be thrown off into the gutter in 2026. All right, to the upside here, you're looking at a 58 as your starting point. Go from there. Okay, Apple inside bar. Tesla 3 for 3 to the upside. Microsoft inside bar. Amazon 2 out of 3 with volume. AMD 2 out of 3 with volume. Nvidia 2 out of 3 with volume. Broken record here. Meta technically increasing volume. It's going to be a 3 for 3 to the downside. Netflix, red candle, increasing volume, gap up again. Downside, pretty much same story across the board. Interestingly enough, decent gap ups. Google 1 for 3, and Vixaruni hanging out at 16. So about implied range of give or take 1%. So someone's asking me, have I rolled over to March 2026? The answer is no, right? But it's more of a no because of a technical reason. You're only rolling your contracts, right? Or you're rolling your position over if you have an open position in one contract as it goes towards expiration. I don't have any open positions or didn't have any open positions. So there's nothing for me to roll, right? From that perspective. Your prop firm is going to be the one that dictates which contract you're trading here today, right? If it's the March contract or if it's still the December contract. But yeah, if there is no, if there's no position, you have nothing to roll, right? So let's be careful with the language we use here and be specific so we're not confusing each other. You can all trade the March contract. You could have all traded the March contract 2 months ago, 6 months ago. I would recommend using the other stream besides YouTube. YouTube's got a much larger latency than the one on the website. Yeah, appreciate that. That should be fixed now. You guys, any other questions here? How's everyone feeling? Everyone feeling good? So if you're referring to which contract has the most volume, you can look that up too yourself, right? Like, don't need me to do that. Nice, Miles. Just had my first sip of coffee, so I'm halfway there. Yeah, right. You click that on Trading View, tells you going from NQZ to NQH. And if you want it, you click it, right? And you can see the daily 88,000 contracts traded versus 745. So no, the roll has not happened yet. Again, guys, these are all things you can look up yourself, right? Don't need me and my voice to tell you that. So it took me 5 seconds, right? All right, so we got a few minutes here till market open, guys. I'm gonna go take a couple sips of my cup of coffee, get my head right, visualize a successful trading day, and then we'll jump back on in a couple minutes and we'll do a quick little rundown here as the day starts. All right, so let's get ourselves ready for what should hopefully be a strong trading day. Any questions this morning, team? Anything that or wondering about or whatever it is? No? Okay. So sweet. We got about 90 seconds here till market opens. Yeah, let's get ourselves ready for it. Should hopefully be a no. I mean, no. I do all right, but I don't make that much money. Like the fund I used to work at, I used to make 5 times what I make in a year in a day. So it's all relative, I guess. Oh, should be a good end to the trading year, though. I'm excited. Tired. I mean, you can do the math, right? Trader to fly. So my average risk per trade right now is about 8.5 points. So 5 contracts with 8.5 points is a little bit under $1,000 risk per trade. So go in 5 contracts, right? When your max risk per trade is $500, means you'd have to keep your stop loss to be less than 5 points. But you don't need to trade 5 contracts, guys, right? The whole point is you upload your trades, you figure out what your risk tolerance is, right? And then you size your position so that you're nowhere within those risk tolerance numbers. Just because I'm trading 5 contracts doesn't mean you have to trade 5 contracts. In the same way that if I don't know, I was trading 1 contract, wouldn't mean you'd have to trade 1 contract. Everyone has a different risk number, right? Either number of trades, number of time in the market, right? Like a duration, number of decisions, or even a number of contracts that breaks them. And if you're choosing to go a different size because you're looking to pass on that responsibility to someone else, you're just going to be extremely anxious inside your positions, and you're not going to feel particularly confident when you're executing trades. So yeah, just because I trade 5 contracts doesn't mean you have to. And I would really think about your position sizing much more deliberately than that. Or at the very least, right, use the resources provided for you to, figure out your position sizing more appropriately. The other thing here, guys, right, about 50% of people right now are uploading their trades, their trading history, or their day's session to the platform. That's sweet, right? But for the 50% of you who aren't uploading your trades, what are you afraid of, right? That's sort of the question I have for you. Why aren't you interested in getting more data, more information, knowing what part of your trading you need to fix? Why are you hiding that information from yourself and basically not being interested in actually fixing it? I would give you all that challenge, right? Because the only way you're going to improve is if you get more data on your trading. You figure out what points you actually need to fix. And once you fix those things, then you can move on to that next solution. So if you aren't uploading your trades, you aren't posting your stuff for feedback, question is why not, right? Why are you just kind of winging it and hoping good things are going to happen? So the challenge I have to everyone here this week is to what do you mean you can't figure it out? It's so easy. What do you mean you can't figure it out? Because if we can't figure out how to download a file and upload a file, we can't click 4 buttons. I'm not sure how we expect to make money trading when we got to click 20 buttons. Yeah, too many people are not uploading their trades. You guys need to start doing that. You will make a lot more money. So, Kath, what I would recommend for you is to not upload your entire history each time. Upload day to day, right? What's going on is for whatever reason, when TradingView is trying to upload its paper trading history for like 3 months or whatever it is, there's like phantom orders in there that screw things up. So if you just reset your paper trading account each day, upload that file, you're not going to have those issues. Oh, still no volume on that second candle, right? So no setup. That's like 2 people, right? Of 200 who haven't uploaded their trades. I'm sure everyone does not have those same issues. So at some point, guys, right, we need to understand the facts around our trading. If we don't understand the facts, how are we going to know what to improve, right? We can't be afraid of that information. It's going to help you get better, and it's going to help you improve your trading. And for full disclosure, right? You guys are going to be booking one-on-one calls, but you're not uploading any trades to your portal, right? Or to your website so you can actually get coaching and feedback. Your calls will be canceled. So yeah, like I would recommend you guys upload it. Like I made this specifically in mind, and I'm constantly launching upgrades and updates with the idea or the base objective of, if I was an unprofitable trader, or I was just starting out trading, or my trading wasn't going the way that I want, how could I improve my trading at my own time, at my own pace, at my own schedule? So, like, challenge, right? I get to everyone is, don't be afraid of that. You already probably know a lot of these uncomfortable truths, except now you're going to get answers on how you can fix them, right? And all of a sudden, once you know what you need to fix, you don't have to spend your sessions focusing on problems that aren't actually your problem. So please, everyone, do it. It's going to make you a much better trader. And that's going to, I mean, they'll make everyone happier, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a good volume profile, but very heavy bottom wick. So yeah, Hugo, I would say it fails on confirmation. Go on Wall Street the Great. So close to a reversal setup on that 2-minute as well, but we're just gonna have to be patient. Like we said, our base expectation here today, right, is consolidation, or like kind of a non-trend day, which would make a lot of sense going into the futures roll. So not increasing volume there again. So no confirmation of a setup. At least we're away from 25,500, right? That was kind of our sticky price action point all of last week. Got some nice separation there here, early doors. Okay, inside bar right on that 3-min candle. That maybe makes it a little bit more interesting as a breakdown setup. Effectively fills in the missing chunk there of our inside bar. Problem though, right, is our target is so close away. It'd be 281 approximately. So it's already moved more than you'd want, right? For it prior to it faking out potentially. So I might just have to reset this and wait till we get a crack under 300. And this is a day that's going to reward patience, not aggressiveness. Honestly, guys, if I hear a comment here today, I can't believe you're not trading, I might start dropping F-bombs. our job, right? We get paid for our decisions, not our time. So if we're thinking, oh, market's moving, I can't believe I didn't make any money, you're torturing yourself with hypothetical gains, right? So in our heads, we never, yeah, we always overvalue our ability to make money when price action moves aggressively. We never assume that this actually would have been a trade that I would have gotten shaken out of or stopped out of or whatever. The whole point of being a systematic trader is that you have a repeatable and consistent pattern that you can execute instead of having to chase rules or chase trades, sorry. So the goal, right, is to be deliberate, right, to be precise, to not basically overcomplicate things, and to not get in your own way. If you're getting to a point, right, where you need validation from your P&L and you're chasing a number and every candlestick movement, right, becomes a setup trigger for you, you become damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because one, even if you make money, right, you're making money in a scenario where your most likely outcome is now that you're going to give it away the very next trading day or 2 trading days or whatever, because you made money out of luck and you're equating it to skill. And then if you don't make money, right, and your only objective was to make money, then all of a sudden you're stuck in this pit of, oh my gosh, I can't believe how volatile the market was. I didn't make any money. Let me force something. Let me rush something. Let me jump into something. And nothing good happens from those scenarios. So historically, right, the futures roll day is, or the futures roll is not a particularly busy time for day traders. So do have to be very cautious and patient, even if there is volatility. It's not a particularly strong enough signal, right? Most of the time for us to be hyper aggressive. The 2-min time frame. So yes, this is a nice looking candle. That was a potential good looking fake out, but there's no setup here, right? So this doesn't give us like a setup to the downside because it's not a strong enough volume profile. And then this doesn't give us a setup as a reversal. Is the same thing. It's not a strong enough volume profile. So got to be a little bit careful here not to chase this. There's still no real indication of strong trending price action from anything we've seen here so far this morning. Like tomorrow, guys, with the roll day being what it is, being on a Tuesday, it's kind of gross. I'd be very surprised if I got any trades tomorrow. Today, I still kind of expect myself to get a little bit of action, but tomorrow I'd be very surprised. And then the other element, right, is I don't think I get FOMO anymore or like feel the greed of when price action is moving and giving us a range and things are moving fast that I feel like I need to make money. Because the reality here is, right, that I only make money when I follow my rules, like at least long term. Like I can make money short term on a day to day, trade to trade basis, just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. Absolutely can do that, but that's not a particularly sustainable path. So it almost becomes like a lose-lose situation, right? Where you set yourself up by chasing trades, you set yourself up for basically opportunities where you're looking for validation from your P&L, not actually looking to execute your technique well. And then you trick yourself, right, into thinking, oh, because I got a good result, my technique on this was actually good. And then you get stuck in bad habits or bad processes or whatever it might be for the remainder of your trading career. You can almost get like addicted to that feedback loop. And then you end up punishing yourself, right, for following your rules. So if you're going to hold it against yourself that you're behaving how you said you were going to behave, then you're in a can't win situation because either you're going to lose money chasing dumb trades or you're going to make yourself feel like an idiot because you didn't make any money. So we need to get off of that. yeah, we need to get off of that type of mindset or off of that type of mentality, because it's helping absolutely nobody improve their trading or to actually become successful traders. Yeah, too much of a bottom wick there on that 933 candle, Paco, spot on. So it doesn't necessarily look like a normal body bearish candle. It kind of starts to look a little bit too indecisive. So I'm waiting this one. Like, it needs to be so beyond perfect that I have no choice but to trade it. That's the standard here, right? um, yeah. So process. I know it's boring. We're delaying that gratification, but ultimately that mindset is going to make you a lot more money than the outcome of any singular trade ever will. Understand that? So like we need to get off of the just internet issues, not anything stream or website wise, Mike. Sorry to hear that. The the reality, right, guys, with trading, and I've said this to people before, but I think too many people are behaving as if they are like one day away from being rich, right? Or that one good trading day is going to solve all their problems. And it, like, maybe you can get super lucky and you'll turn a nice win on your prop firm into a $1,000,000,000 payout. But I think that's probably highly unlikely for most people, right? So we can't really embrace that mindset. We have to be a little bit more deliberate, and then we have to think about it like logically, right? So like, what's a really good trading day? Let's say you had your best trading day of the year and you made $20,000. Made $20,000 probably helps your life out for like a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, but it doesn't set you up for the rest of your life, right? It doesn't give you so much freedom that you never have to work again. It doesn't put you over the top, right? Where now all of a sudden you're a millionaire and you never have to do anything. So your like dream outcome isn't one trading day away, right? So we can't behave as if we are one trading day away. We get to our dream outcome a lot faster if we basically avoid significant slip ups along the way. And that's why focusing on controlling our psychology, controlling our expectations, right? Controlling our mentality has the highest rate of return versus chasing any specific technique or strategy. So, yeah, we got to be very, very careful, right? We don't need to catch every single move. We don't need to catch every single tick of the market. We don't need to be in every single trade or every single opportunity. Instead, right, we can focus on the variables we can control, which in this context, right, means following our rules, sticking to our process, delaying our gratification, not holding ourselves to unreasonable standards, putting ourselves in situations where we have positive expectancy, not over one trade, right, but over 1,000 trades. And if we can execute that technique consistently over that period, you'll make more than enough money. So, challenge I would give to everyone, twofold, right? Everyone should be uploading their trades here this week. No excuses, right? Be aware over what your trading problems are so you can fix them. And then once you know what your trading problems are, right? How can I not try to fix them tomorrow, but how can I make sure that they don't rear their ugly head so that in a month, 3 months, 6 months time, I have the outcome that I want. And then the other reality, guys, is once you start making money, I say this all the time, but once you start making money as a trader, you start moving the goalposts so freaking fast. So, like, I used to say this all the time, but like my goal for a very, very long time was to make 10K a month trading. And I always said to myself and to my friends and to my dad, oh, if I start making 10K a month trading, I'm gonna pack up the dog, we're gonna jump in the car, we're gonna go live Airbnb to Airbnb and go do fun stuff and all this kind of stuff. And that for me is it's the dream, but it didn't happen, right? I made 10K a month and then I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to do it when I get to 20 and then when I get to 30 and then when I get to 50 and 100 and whatever the number is. And you just keep moving those goalposts so fast. So don't get like hung up or stuck on that number. It's not going to make you a better trader. It's not going to help you improve. It's not going to give you the outcome that you're looking for. So focus on improving the quality of your technique. Focus on solving the problems that constantly slow you down. And if you fix enough of those things, the market will take care of itself, right? It's got very little to do with anything else. So trading is very much another one of my favorite sayings, right? Is we're all in this together by ourselves. So trading is very much me versus me battle. It's not me versus Kath, not me versus Noah. It's not me versus Mike. It's me versus me, right? And the more, once you can get over that, you can get over yourself, and you stop needing the validation from a number on a screen. Things go a lot better, a lot faster. Yeah, Miles, I would agree with that. I talk about my reward system all the time, but my reward system for myself is based on how often I basically said or I behaved, how well I said I was going to behave, right? So, what are the scenarios where, I followed my rules perfectly, I took my losses perfectly, I stayed within my max risk numbers perfectly. If I do those things well, then the P&L takes care of itself, and I should be more excited about, um, rewarding those behaviors than anything. But yeah, I would agree with that. I would maybe phrase it a little bit differently, but I agree with that sentiment. 950 candle. So not enough volume on this 950, in my opinion, on the 2-min, right? I want to see increasing outlier. I don't have that. So I have to wait. 1-min, he looks a little bit better, but still below outlier. And then Chris, you're asking, what do you recommend when it comes to taking your first payout? Meaning that once you qualify to take a payout, do you typically just take it when you can, or do you build up a set buffer first before starting to take payouts? That's going to be dependent on each individual person, right? So how do I put this nicely? Like if I don't get a payout from a prop firm for 6 months, I will still get I'll still be able to put food on the table type thing, right? So I'm not necessarily in a position where that first payout or that immediate payout is going to be exceptionally valuable to me. So it's a personal question, right? Is this potentially giving me buffer? Does this make my life easier? Does this do X, Y, Z? So it really depends on what your answer to that is. So yeah, I would think there. Generally, my objective is to get my account balance or buffer to be over 10K. Every Friday where it's above that buffer and I'm payout eligible, I'm paying myself. That's generally how it goes. But it really depends on which prop firm you're using or which company you're using or whatever it might be. Okay, so we have a possible setup here, right? Increasing outlier volume, breaking down through low of day. So good setup there. Depends on the prop firm, Kobe, right? Depends on the prop firm. This is why I like Take Profit Trader, right? Why I've been telling people to use Take Profit Trader. They don't have any restrictions. Once you're above that buffer, pretty good to go. Okay, so our target here would be 200. You're looking at something like this. You know, not the most convincing spot for a fake out, truth be told. Because like you kind of would want it to fake out above that 275. Hasn't quite given me exactly the look I want yet. I gotta be a little bit patient. Again, I should have no fear that I'm gonna miss it or yeah, so it could be that you're yeah, you've got overnight price action included in your calculations, or right, you could also be on the March contract while I'm still on the December. But yeah, it's saying regular trading hours here is maybe an indication that you're on the March contract while I'm still on the December. Okay, so now we want to see a fake out over 254. Again, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm not going to chase something that isn't perfect. Oh, looks like I'm probably not going to get an entry on this. See if this 2-min wants to increase that volume for us a little bit. Okay, so we'll have another chance here for this thing to set back up. Same fake out spot for now. We're looking at a fake out above 254. Oh, so that's anything too interesting. Excuse me. Oh, wouldn't be as tired as I am this morning. Okay, there's 10 a.m. Now we're looking at a 27 targeting 100. So 230 would be the stop. I want to see a fake out above that price. And maybe low probability until we close and hold under 2. Well, let's see. We still got a little bit of time here. I don't anticipate getting an entry on this candle. Well, we've had no opportunities for good confirmations. So, yeah, I've missed the move, but I don't care, right? It didn't give me a setup that I could have traded. So, if it doesn't give me a valid confirmation or a valid setup, why would I hold it against myself that I didn't break my rules? Right? Oh, I don't care, right? The price action itself is irrelevant. It just depends on, did I get a setup? Did I have a reasonable chance to enter based on my trading rules? The answer in this situation or this context is no. So if the answer is no, why would I torture myself saying, "Oh, I should have broken my rules this time"? Right? That's like big loser behavior. Oh, yeah, I don't care. It could move 1,000 points. If it doesn't give me an entry that follows my rules, doesn't give me a confirmation, why would I trade it? Right? I go from then being a trader to a gambler. So, like, if rules are, um, like if it's an open marriage type rules scenario, where anytime I feel the urge to fuck around, I can get away with it, probably not going to do very well, right? Or that relationship isn't going to do very well. But if I have the discipline, right, to be a little bit more structured, okay, I got to execute my process. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do whatever. All of a sudden, now I'm in a situation where I can actually do something significant. So yeah, I don't torture myself with hypotheticals. Because if price action moves without following my rules, my only expectation is that long term I will lose money trading that idea. If price action follows my rules, then I have the expectation that I could be profitable. So, not interested in cheating myself. I don't care what the market does, truth be told. Doesn't make a difference. All I care about is, does it behave within the context of my rules? If it does, sweet, I'll have action. If it doesn't, sweet, I won't have action. Like the second I'm willing to compromise, right, it becomes a slippery slope because I'm no longer trading a process, I'm trading a P&L. And once I'm trading a P&L or trading for that P&L validation on the short term, I'm screwed. Right? And it's not to say I don't care about the numbers. I absolutely do. but I care about the numbers on a long-term basis, right? Because like I said, okay, if I have a 20K day here today, it doesn't change my life. It doesn't do anything. Like, yes, maybe, okay, I'll sleep a little bit better, but it doesn't change the entire trajectory of what I'm doing. So why would I want to cheat myself then of being able to make that money much easier in the future because I don't have the basically self-control to be like, oh, flashing red candle, I gotta chase this monkey brain, this, and it's like it's doesn't not sustainable. I don't think any trader has any long-term evidence that chasing their impulses actually makes them any money. It's more fun, way more fun to be a gambler, but it's also like a losing proposition. And people who make money through luck never keep it long term. So why would I want to behave like losers? I mean, that's just where you know what you like. If you track your rules, right, Noah? Yeah. Did I take setups that were A+? No. Yes. Did I get the risk reward I wanted on trades? No. Yes. Did I get the position sizing I wanted on trades? No. Yes. Right. These are all binary things. Yeah, I'd prefer the setup to the downside on the 5-min. It's a better signal, stronger candle, larger sample size. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. No, they wouldn't, right? And that trader is not tracking, which is why they think that they can get away with it, right? Because they're not aware of their actual data around their trading. They just think, "Oh, I'm smarter than the market. I'm going to get rich today." And then they blow up their account, right? Tale as old as time. All right, so we're looking here carefully. Stop loss would be 38. Watching this pullback. $25 to $8. And we want to watch this pullback gently into that 228 area, right? Very gently. Yeah. In profitable trading, right? The number one battle or the first victory you have to have is the victory in your mind, which is believing, right, that you can delay that gratification, play for the bigger prize. You don't need the validation immediately from your P&L. And the second you can get off of that wavelength, that's like the moment where you can start to look at price action objectively. And you don't have to be an idiot with your decisions. And if it doesn't behave exactly how I behave, don't care, right? It makes no difference. If I don't make any money here today, if I don't make any money here this week, what was last week not good enough, right? Has this year not been strong enough, right? Like, can't trick yourself into that short-term bullshit. Another one of my, I'm talking straight up, just all these sayings here today. But one of my favorite sayings is in trading is that you can, if you want to be a profitable trader, you can lie to everyone but yourself. So I would argue that thinking, "Ooh, I'm going to make a lot of money chasing this move because the candle is red and it looks good enough," that's a version of lying to yourself, right? Because I can almost guarantee that you have zero evidence to indicate that you can actually make money long term chasing those moves. and yet still addicted to constantly, I need the validation from this, I need the validation from that, whatever. That's big time loser behavior. No, Cole, the issue is that we've not had an entry pull back into 228. So we don't have a risk reward or an entry that is justifiable. Maybe we could do something like this. That'd be a stop loss at 201. Got a decent pullback to go now, so we're gonna go like 30 points, which is pretty punchy. Again, I don't care. Let's look at the volume on the 3. Where's my setup candle? Where's my confirmation candle on the 3, man? Right? Like, where is it? Tell me. So the reason I'm on the 5 is because the only the only time frame that's giving me an active setup with confirmation. I don't understand why we're skipping these basics here so easily. Nothing we're doing here, guys, is particularly complicated, right? I'm confused by a lot of the question types that we're getting. These are the basics. We do the same stuff every single day. Yes, we want to see a gentle pullback here into 191.50. Gentle, right? Close, but no cigar yet. I don't care that it was 4 points from my entry, right? 4 points isn't my entry. Worse. No chase. Okay, so back to like 13, 14 points. Let's see if we can get that gentle pullback. Just a reminder, guys, right? The vast majority of thoughts or ideas you have about price action are incorrect, right? Impulsive decisions or impulsive thoughts that come into your head in the middle of a trading day are not designed to make you money. They're designed to make you feel good and only good at the moment of execution. Stop rewarding those feelings and stop expecting me to justify them for you. Not the best candle. Flushes. Maybe I could do something like that. 177 stop loss. Need to see a little fake out above it first. And then need to go reference price like 170-ish. But we need to see that fake out first. Again, guys, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Don't care. So again, guys, I'm a stop loss technique and logic. There's a billion pieces of content created on this. My stop loss is at the higher low of my entry candle on about 90% of my trades. So it's not that I'm ever sitting set, oh, it's got to be 10 points or it's got to be 12 points. It's dependent on each setup. So if I have 10 points of risk on one setup, but I have 15 points of risk on another, my position sizing is going to be smaller on the 15 points of risk than the 10. So you can be dynamic in how you adjust your contracts, right? So it's I'm never thinking, ooh, a market's giving me a 10-point stop loss. That's not how it works. Each setup is its own independent risk parameters, and you get opportunities. Like my reference price, if I were to get an entry here, would be at the low of this green candle, right? So it just depends on how far this number goes. If it gives me a tight risk reward, sweet, I'll go 5. If I have a bad risk reward, I go whatever. And it's not hard to do those calculations, guys. TradingView does them for you. So if you just type in your stop loss price, your reference price, and then a number of contracts, it'll tell you how much you're going to lose. And then your question you're asking yourself is, do I like this number or do I not like this number? Like, stop giving yourselves these super easy excuses, guys. Like, it's kind of pathetic. Not hard to calculate 20 times X, right? It's not hard. And then if you are smart about it, okay, I know that at a 15-point stop loss, I go X amount of contracts. At a 7-point stop loss, I go X amount of contracts. At a 10-point stop loss, I go X amount of contracts. And you just write that down on a piece of paper and you have that in front of yourself and you just reference that document. Like, guys, it's not hard to think for ourselves here. And it's crazy that we're willing to give that up so easily. Crazy. It's all fun and games when you're making money, right? But the best traders aren't thinking about how much they can make. They're thinking about how little they can lose. Really, really frustrating to hear people thinking the opposite way here when that's literally all we focus on day after day, week after week, month after month. Like, why aren't people actually doing the things that'll fix their trading? Why are they chasing or playing the wrong games, chasing for stupid prizes? I don't get it. Like, how quickly do we forget how good Friday was, too, guys, right? Friday we made like $6,000. And now today, everyone's so impatient that they can't wait 50 minutes to get a setup or a trade. Right? So like, how short-term thinking are we? It's ridiculous. It's honestly so pathetic, guys. Okay, we have a possible chance here for a reversal. Let's see if this candle can close green. Okay, reasonable close. We have a reversal set up here. You're looking at a 151 stop loss targeting high a day. We'd like to see a fake out under that 151. Approximately there. And then my reference price would be 166. At least for now. Oh, if I wanted to stay within my max loss number, I'm not going 29,000 contracts here. No, Mike. You might be on the March contract. Is where that spread is coming from. But you can see the numbers on my screen. 149.25. That's not a mistake. Honestly, guys, I might not trade the futures roll going forward if we got to deal with this type of nonsense every day. It's crazy. Mike, you're not asking honest questions, right? You're telling me that my price is wrong when you can see my price on my screen. Like, if we don't understand if we're trading the December contract or if we're trading the March contract, maybe we shouldn't be placing a trade, right? We don't understand, guys, the mechanics of our execution. Why are we thinking about placing a trade? Yeah, we're watching. 5 minutes not going to get enough volume, right? It's not going to get the increasing outlier, so no setup. So we're looking at the 2 min, right? Or we're looking at the 3 min. Okay, and what would our target be on this trade, guys? Anyone know? Yeah, 25K, right? Our next target here written down in our pre-market prep. Want to see a little fake out over that 72. Okay, so now you're looking at an 81 stop loss. Let's see if it gives us an aggressive rejection. But I'm going to start to set up my order window now, right? So I'm not rushing it or it's not a surprise. And reference price, we'll go about there. Now we want to see a gentle pullback in this zone. Too fast, right? That was not gentle. Went from 73 to 76 to 84. Reset. Now you're looking at an 86 stop loss, 87. And we'd go higher, right? So you go 77 now as your reference price. Okay, fine candle close. Let's see if we can get a little entry here. Gentle pullback, right? Gentle. Oh, it's dick. Did I maybe do 83? Probably not. So still going to stick to that 87, unfortunately. Okay, so we reset. Annoying, but is what it is. The only entry chance we had, we would have gotten stopped out on this move to 86 before it breaking down. So don't lie to yourself, telling yourself that you would have made money on this trade. Do not torture yourself with fake hypothetical gains. It is not worth it. Okay, so still potentially in play here. Not the best looking candle, so we'd probably expect a little fake out above that 86 again. Very wrong there. We'll see. Again, I'd rather be too conservative and miss a trade than be too aggressive and get stopped out of one. So expectation here is fake out over 86. I'm not looking for an entry yet. All right, right. There's that fake out. We knew it was coming. See if it's got more in it. Yep. Okay, so now you're looking at like 98 stop loss. Still think more highs are coming. Yep. Now we're setting up as a possible reversal scenario here on the 2-min. The breakout trade to the downside has been invalidated. Our patience has saved us a ton of money. So all these people bitching and screaming about not enough trades or not enough action or not enough whatever. We're all wrong. You all would have lost money. Stop believing every short-term impulse you have. It is not helping you. Okay, so we're looking at a 98 stop loss for now. We want to see a little fake out first, right before we establish a reference price. We still got some time here. And again, guys, everyone should be understanding on if they're trading the December contract or if they're trading the March contract, right? There will be a spread between the two. Doesn't mean that the setup is different, but understand that there could be differences in the price just depending on which prop firm you're using. So as long as you have live market data, you're going to be okay. Again, right? The price I call out, the price I get for my entry might be different than yours. That's what happens during the futures roll, right? We need to understand these mechanics. Okay, so I'd look for an entry about around 100, right? Assuming we can get a gentle pullback into that area. And it'd be a long, right? We might get it on the next look here. This candle still continues to be my confirmation. I can get an entry off of this next candle. That's still fine. We're just looking for the tightest risk reward we can possibly get. Let's see if it can fake out first. Okay, you're looking at a 122 stop loss, guys. 122. The reference price will be about there. And so we can get a gentle pullback here. I think it's going to go lower. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now you're looking at a 107 stop loss, and that's the freaking fake out of all fake outs. Reference price 120-ish. I might be able to get this on the 5-min and not enough volume. 3-min, not enough volume, so still sticking to this on the 2. All right, let's see if this thing can pull back into our spot. Close, almost. Gentle here, right? Nice and gentle. Sweet. All right, guys. I am in. Entry price 116.75. 116.75. That was a big pullback I didn't like. All right, I got stopped out on that. Might fake me out here. Put stop loss at 97. I'd put it at 90. A bit mean. Okay, looking at an 80 stop loss now. Again, we want to see a gentle pullback into that 90 area. Good bounce, really good bounce, but just a little bit too far away from us here. Mean with how it did that, but that's fine. It's part of the game. Okay, so now you're looking at like a 110, maybe 107 again. And we look at something like this. And again, right, a ruthless fake out on our first entry, but that's okay. It's part of the game. Make it personal. Don't change your position sizing here all of a sudden. Don't increase your mass risk. Don't be an idiot. Way too fast. Try this again, potentially. Stop would now be 105. It's going to keep pulling in a little bit, so be patient. And now we're possibly looking at an 80 again, or if we can get the correct bounce, be a 93, 94 stop. You're looking at something like this. Okay, so watching here carefully. It'd have to be stop loss now. I don't know, 91.50. Lower. Fast. We're back to this scenario. Stop loss at 80. See the fake out underneath. There it is. And now you're looking at a 76 stop loss, guys. 76. Want to see a gentle pullback here. Yeah, I'm in at 88. In at 88. Stop loss 76. Ooh, bad reaction post entry. There it goes. Much, much better. There it goes. And boom, now you're green on the day, guys. That's literally all it takes. So let's see if this thing can keep pushing. There's 2K. Five contracts. Guys, you should be figuring out your contracts before, right? You don't need my validation for your position sizing because I don't know your struggles like you know your struggles. But we got to be selfish about our position sizing, guys. Right? Your max loss number is going to be different than my max loss number. Embrace that. Right? Focus on improving your technique because that will then help you improve your psychology and help you manage your wins better. Guys, we're up almost $4,000 on this trade, and I still got people bitching and screaming. It's crazy. Okay, I want to see this thing hold 120, right? Ideally past that. We want it to hold 120. Let's see if we can get through 130 now. Still no reason to get out of this position. Now we want to see it holding 130, right? So if this candle doesn't close above 130, that's going to be an exit signal. There's 5K. Don't like that little pullback. If you get a strong close here, ooh, bad close. 13 seconds to go. Close with some strength. Okay, now focus is closing as P&L is increasing, guys. So that's it. That's my exit right there. 141.25. Exit price 141.25. Boom. So again, guys, all we need to do, right? Focus on the variables we can control. Be deliberate, be precise, be specific, be accountable to yourself. Don't need much action. Right? And if people are yapping in my ear the whole time, like I can't do my job either, right, guys? So yeah, I'm pretty annoyed here today. I'm going to kill the stream in a second. So any questions? Amazing, David. 7K. Let's go. Yeah, I left a ton of money on the table here. Why did we close? Because it didn't close above 40. That's what we wanted. But honestly, guys, I've just been frustrated this morning. Well, it's almost end of the day anyway, Susie, right? So I don't need to do anything else, right? No, I mean, I will trade again tomorrow, guys, but I need more people to understand the basics of the rollover, how it works. Let's go, Kiki. Let's go, Mike. Amazing work. Hunter, you can do that math yourself, right? No offense. Entry price 116, stop loss 107. So how many points is that, Hunter? Let's go, Sam. Amazing, Miles. Amazing, dude. First day of freedom and you're crushing it. I love that. Again, guys, like trading is extremely mentally taxing, right? It's extremely hard. It's hard on all of us. So we got to find ways to make life easier for ourselves. Because if we're not obsessing over how can I make my life as easy as possible, you're not going to get there, right? I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but you're not going to get there because you're going to make too many psychological meltdowns and you'll struggle. Yeah, I left a ton of money on the table there. Fine. Trading is about repeatable patterns, right? And most of those patterns aren't market ones, they're behavioral ones. Most of us don't take accountability over our behavioral patterns. And then they get annoyed when I call them out on it. Fair enough. But I'm not here to be your guys' friend. I'm here to make you guys money, right? And there's a certain amount of intensity that is required to trade at a high level. I get it, right? I can be a grumpy prick. But we need to go whatever. Look, the targets are hypothetical, right? They don't mean that much. They're there for me to justify my risk reward. But I got 5-to-1 risk reward on that trade, right? So like I don't care that it doesn't go towards the high a day. I'm just using that to justify my trade, right? To justify the math behind my thesis, and then I'm generating asymmetric upside. Yeah, everyone, upload your trades, right? This is another fantastic day for the team. And look, guys, I take my job here extremely seriously. Right? It costs me a lot of mental capital to do this. It costs me a lot of energy, right? And I do those things because I fundamentally think it makes me better. And I get it. We're all competitive psychos. We all want to make a lot of money. We all want to be as rich as possible. We want to do all these things, right? They don't happen behaving the way that you're used to behaving, right? Like your past you needs to die for you to get to your new version. Like I say this all the time. Maybe I even said it in the psychology series. But one of the things that I'm most proud about in my trading, right, or about like what the market has done for me. It's not the money, it's not the cars, it's not the watches. None of these things matter. Like they don't care. They make you feel good for like 20 minutes. But the thing that I'm most proud of is that I killed a version of myself that I didn't like. I fucking drowned that guy in 6 inches of water. Right? Like it is something that I'm extremely proud of. And that person was a lazy piece of shit. They didn't care. They didn't want. They thought everything was deserved. They had a victim mentality. They had all this sort of stuff. And that person was fucking miserable. And so I took a lot of effort, a lot of work to kill that version of me that I didn't like and fixing those things, right? Forcing myself to be someone different to get to the different outcome that I wanted has been the most rewarding thing I will ever do in my entire life. Right? Besides teaching my dog how to jump into my arms, everything else. So we have to figure out what that version of our past self we have to kill. And I can hopefully encourage you to do that, but we have to make that decision ourselves. And the language I used when I described that, right, was not gentle. Like I said, I drowned that guy in 6 inches of water. It is a violent death. Right? Because changing your core habits or the things you don't realize or whatever, it is fucking intense. It requires sacrifices that you don't realize you're going to have to make. Getting used to being uncomfortable, getting used to believing in yourself is something that is foreign to a lot of people. And I don't care if I hurt your feelings. No offense. I really don't. It's not something I think about at all. All I think about is how can I make the most amount of money with my decisions? How can I optimize my trading? And how can I make sure I don't become the version of Michael that I fucking hated? And so, yeah, it is intense. Yeah, I don't mince words. I don't tolerate bullshit very well. Right? I get that. I know that these are my flaws. But you know what? I actually like them a lot. I got two things that I'm terrified in life over happening, right? Terrified my dog's not going to live forever. Love Ricky. He's like the best thing in the world. And I'm terrified that I'm going to regress back into being a version of me that I don't want to be, right? I remember how terrible I felt. I remember how depressed I was. I remember the feeling of waking up in the morning feeling purposeless. I can't stand that version. Can't stand that guy. He's a fucking pussy. Amazing, Jared. Like, honestly, guys, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, I'm not ever attacking anyone personally, right? I don't mean that. Like, I'm not, I don't finish the stream and think, and Jared, just forgive me here. I don't think like, oh my God, Jared, what a fucking idiot. What a dumbass. I'm going to fuck him over tomorrow. Right? Like there's none of those types of thoughts that go through my head, right? I don't hold any of these things against you guys, but I want you all to be better traders. And I will attack your trading with intensity, right? And when I see people having psychological pain points in their trading and you attack them, that often feels personal. I promise you it is not. but it feels like it is. And look, the reason why DTR members make money, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's because they hold themselves to a higher standard than people in other groups. I don't think that that's a coincidence at all. You know, the last year, big year for the Eagles, right? Big time. And there was that whole controversy of AJ Brown reading a book on the sideline. And the sideline, or the book that he was reading, was called Inner Excellence. It was basically talking about, like, how can you set up your psychology and your mentality to be the best version of yourself? I think that that's an incredibly powerful concept when it comes to trading. Trading isn't about beating the market. It's about not destroying your own account. And so the more that we can aspire to have that inner excellence, right? The more we can aspire to hold ourselves to a standard that would make most people uncomfortable, the better things go. And you know what? If I have to hurt your feelings a couple times to get you to fix your shit, that's a good risk reward, right? 100%. Well, like I said, guys, I obviously I want you all guys to like me, and I like all of you. I'm extremely grateful, right, for getting the opportunity to work with everyone here on a daily basis. But I don't care that much, right, about if you guys think I'm a nice guy. Doesn't mean anything. All I care about is, are you guys getting the result that you want? Right? And if you aren't getting the result that you want, what's the bottleneck that you're creating that's preventing you from getting it? And I don't know how to fix things gently. Do things with intensity. I do like you all. I hate a lot of you guys as traders. I like all of you as people. And I'm trying to get you all fixed to be good traders. So if I were to open up paper trading here, you go export data, order history, or orders export, and then it gives you that file. That's literally all it is. It's not difficult, guys. Really not difficult. And although we didn't close, guys, at the perfect exit, right? Left, I don't know, 40 odd points on the table there. We didn't close it a terrible one, right? Look at where price is 5-10 minutes later, right? It's 30 points below where we exited. So we kind of closed at the midpoint of that trade here today. So for sure left a little bit of money on the table, but honestly, I was feeling agitated. So I just took the money and ran. All right. Any other questions? yeah, guys, like I say this all the time, right? Like I operate in here without a filter, right? I don't filter out my thoughts. I don't filter out my ideas. I give you my stream of consciousness. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's ugly. But that's the way that I was taught how to trade. Like, fuck, you guys should have heard some of the feedback I used to get back in the day. Like, I remember first day working at this, fancy hedge fund. Super nervous. I'm super clammy. Like I was just an uncomfortable person. Again, guys, if you have tech issues, just raise a fucking tech support ticket. Please respect the rules of this chat. If you have a tech issue, raise a tech support ticket. I cannot track everyone's tech issues in the chat. I don't know how many times I got to say this. But the first person I met, this guy named Aaron. Aaron interviewed me during the interview process. And he was going to like help me set up my email and all that kind of fun stuff the first day. You know what the first thing he said to me when I walked in? You guys want to guess? No. He told them, he said, I told them not to hire you. The first words I heard from this guy. Yeah. Told them not to hire you. Yeah, whatever. He just wanted to get a reaction out of me or whatever it was. You got to understand, right? Like it's not personal. Everyone's just obsessed about trying to make the most. And like it's funny. Aaron and I are still like good buddies. We talk once a week easily. Don't take it personal. Who you are day one doesn't have to be who you are day 100. But if you're choosing to not change, you're choosing to not get better, you're choosing to not improve, you're wasting your time just like bouncing between a cajillion strategies, or you're not studying yourself, or you're not uploading your trades. Why are you so committed to being the same day one and day 100? Right? Being stuck is a choice. Exactly. I don't like having to do the scared straight stuff. I don't particularly enjoy it. I always feel embarrassed when I have those moments in the stream. I look like a petulant child. But like, no one can want it more than you guys want it. Right? You have to want it for yourself more than anyone else, because the sacrifices that you have to make to fix those things can only be made by you. So if you don't have that intrinsic why, you don't have that, I don't know, psychopath wiring to pursue that relentlessly, you got to find a way to get there. %. Person who gets you to 100K a year is different than the person who gets to a million K or million a year. I was going to say million K a year. But it's a different skill set. It's a different mentality. It's a different level of intensity. Raise a ticket. There's literally a tech support ticket that says like membership perms or whatever it is. Any other questions here, team? Any other questions? Sounds good, Joe. Enjoy. Let's go. Market Miner. Congratulations. Love that, chef. Nice, Joe. First of many. First of many. Get that tee up for you for sure. All right, guys. Final call for questions here. Final call for questions. Just final statement here, guys, right? Like, I'm here to take the plunge with you all, not here to hold your hand, right? There's a difference. So I want people to expect less hand holding. Stop treating DTR like their own personal Google service. Got the AIs, right, that are all trained up that can answer those questions for you. Don't have to waste my time with that shit. You can Google it in your own time. You can learn how these things work. Investopedia is an incredible resource that will tell you when it's appropriate. But I am not responsible for your success or failure, right? That's everyone's personal decision. So when people put, hey, Michael, you got to fix this for me. You got to do this for me. You got to do that for me. Creates a scenario where the pressure is not possible. It's not sustainable, right? When it's put out into situations where I'm responsible for you making money or you losing money, how am I supposed to sleep at night? So I can't want it more than you want it. I can't do it for you. I'm not here clicking buttons for you. You have to make those decisions yourself. And the more, right, that you can take accountability over those decisions, when you control the variables you can control, the more money you will make. So, yeah, very important, guys, that we actually embrace that, because I don't have the mental capital to hold your hand through this process. I feel like I do a pretty good job of doing that already. I can't now be like, here's the checkout lane at the grocery store, and here's where you get tomatoes, and here's where you get whatever. Can't do that, right? So please, guys, meet me halfway. Control the variables you can't control. Understand the products that you're trading. You don't understand what the futures role is. That's something you're hearing for the first time. Watch a YouTube video about it, right? Read a 30-second Investopedia article. You don't know what your position sizing should be. Upload your trades to the portal and look at the feedback it's giving you. Don't expect me to be able to give you all that information when I'm looking at an entry or I'm looking at a trade. Can't do that. It's not possible. All right. Enough ranting and raving. See you guys tomorrow.